make you be like, I think I'm ready for the big show. And now he's here as a professional, having his debut under the FAC lights.
And his opponent this evening, fighting out of the red corner, Hector Porter.
Hector Porter making his way to the cage here. Follow their pro debut.
We've seen it's been a drop right, maybe, and
makes his way.
Macaron Kukowski will have a 7-inch reach advantage.
And let's send it up to Jason Evans to make our first pro fight of the evening official.
All right, here we go. Our first pro bout this evening is brought to you by Tent Master. Tent Master has been helping all the good people of Kansas City do it in the dark for over 50 years. Fighting out of the blue corner, Mac Kukowski! And fighting out of the red corner, Hector Porter! It's the pro fight! Let's make some noise!
Our first pro bout of the evening that moves us to 5-minute rounds.
So you ready? Get on the fight.
Elbows and knees now allowed.
Yeah, in the 15 minutes to 9 minutes of a fight really is a big difference. You definitely feel it. You definitely have a little more time to find yourself, as where a 3-minute round can kind of go by pretty fast and you kind of lose yourself in the round. You really kind of have to pace yourself, especially if you're used to pushing a high pace. Deep to the body there from Porter.
Big right hand there by Kukowski.
Yeah, covers distance with that lead hook and lands that right cross as Porter backs up.
Nice made there to the leg by Porter, now in on the single leg.
Yeah, great job to get a big reaction there.
See Porter trying to bounce Kukowski off the cage.
Position, great job. Hey, find an elbow in the break here.
Porter doing the right things as far as trying to secure this takedown, chaining things together, but it's just great defense so far by Mac Kukowski as he turns Porter to the fence. Not a big fan of fishing for the head there.
Yeah, but can often allow that taking of the back, start coming around the head, it opens up that backside. Kukowski looks to land a big elbow there on a break.
He's looking for it again. You got to think he has a nasty submission game if he's fishing it for it so often, but
Kukowski pulls Porter off the cage here, drags him to the mat.
Beautiful reap of the leg there.
Now looking to land some of the elbows. First time as a pro getting to throw some elbows in here.
Underhook right side.
Big hammer fist though from Kukowski.
Forcing Porter to move here as he finds himself in the wrist.
He has the wrist wrap and pinned right up against the cage, not giving him really any space or ability to move here.
Yeah, that wrist wrap is the reason he's taking some punishment right now.
Hey, use your feet on the cage.
And those are some big shots from a big boy. You do not want to be underneath him right now.
Yeah, and this is the difference we saw from some of the earlier amateur fights just not being able to stick them to the mat. You know, Kukowski's doing a really good job of holding the position while he's throwing these strikes.
Porter doing the right thing so far as he's digging that underhook, but let's go of it. And I'm not a big fan of wrapping the head. I don't care how good your guillotine is at a higher level. People are all weary of it. You know, you can have a blue belt submission awareness and be fine with not getting guillotined. So right now, all Porter's doing is holding Kukowski on top of him. And that's a big man that you do not want to be holding on top.
There, though. Another wrist wrap here from Kukowski, making it difficult for Porter to use that hand to build up.
Yeah, great control so far, and he's putting all of his weight on Porter. You can tell by his head being over the head of his, and then the wrist wrap. The combination of both those things, these little minute details are the reason why he's having so much success here on top, and Porter's having a hard time getting up.
Fully mounted here is Porter. Turns up, gives up his back. Kukowski trying to find the hooks.
Now fishing for an arm triangle.
Kukowski keeping a tight mount here, looking to land these big power strikes, postured up. Porter trying to scramble back up. Lands back in an arm triangle on the opposite side now. This one could be tight.
Yeah, this one looks a little tighter.
See if Kukowski decides to step off into side control on the opposite side. Can be finished from mount though as well. Decides to get a little posture and land some punches.
Yeah, so far no answer to this top game as Kukowski's landing big shots.
Kukowski doing a really good job floating on top here.
Yeah, great top control. These are big shots. And it's forcing Porter to move to give up his back and find himself in the same spot.
Yeah, not so committed to the strikes that he's losing his positioning. Staying heavy on top, just not giving Porter any chance to breathe.
He's got to survive 30 seconds here.
Couple
These are big
shots.
shots.
Right the middle. Pouring it on now, Kukowski.
Watch the back of the head. Control him. There you go.
15 seconds left in the round.
We got short time, Hector. Short time, keep straight. You're good.
Stop. Clean break, gentlemen.
Kukowski finishes the round on top. A dominant first round there for Matt Kukowski.
Yeah, one-way traffic so far from Mac as he lands that big right cross as we see on the replay. Brought to you by Apple Roofing. And here, Porter was looking for his own takedown, and then great on Kukowski to turn him. Eventually find his own takedown there, reaps the leg, gets Porter down, and then spent the rest of the round on top, landing some nasty elbows and hammer fist.
Never giving Porter a chance to breathe. Lands these big elbows, landed that big right hand off the back. Porter engages in the grappling exchange, but found himself on the wrong end of some big strikes there. See him getting some adjustments from cornerman Zach Cummings.
And there was really no answer for Porter to try to get up. He wasn't really ever close to getting up. So if you're Porter, you're doing everything you can to avoid any grappling exchange going forward to give him the best chance of winning this fight. Because when Matt Kukowski was on top, it was nasty.
See if Porter can make those adjustments here in round number 2. Porter, a southpaw fighter, even in that open stance, can often open up those body strikes. Big knee up the middle there by Porter, but Kukowski back in on the legs for a takedown.
He needs to defend this takedown by every means necessary. Because if he finds himself on bottom again, I'm not sure how much the referee's going to let him take this round.
And Kukowski gets it. Big double leg right off the fence, right into mount.
Here in the strike stats brought to you by Spectation Sports. Round 1, 40-2. 40 strikes for Matt Kukowski, 2 strikes for Porter. Now Kukowski finds himself in top mount where he found himself most of the first round, where he landed some very devastating shots. 4 minutes left to work. This is not where you want to be if you're Hector Porter.
Porter's trying to dive on a Kimura there, but doesn't have the right angle to lock it in. Kukowski floating on top here once again, just like at the end of round number 2 or round number 1. Finds himself in that top position with the wrist wrap.
And Kukowski, let's give him credit because this top control isn't easy to maintain. He's doing all the right things. The wrist wrap, keeping his weight distributed perfectly, putting all his weight on Porter to make him carry both their weights together.
Yeah, and often when they open up the strikes, you see that's when you see guys try to scramble back to the feet, but Kukowski doing a really good job of managing the balance there, of floating on top and then landing these big strikes.
Yeah, absolutely. Knows when to posture up, knows when to put his weight back down. There temporarily looked like he was going for a mounted triangle. Didn't like it and abandoned it, but you usually don't see that in these heavier weight classes.
Looking for that arm triangle now on the opposite side.
Definitely the more common submission from Mount. Although I do think a mounted triangle would have been pretty cool.
Kukowski's trying to step off into side control. The cage might be in the way here. He's using that knee to create separation between the hips. Porter doing a good job keeping his hand up by the ear, but now it has slid off the head. This could be tight.
Slides back to Mount. Very smart, good fight IQ by Kukowski to say, hey, I don't have it. Let me just get back to a dominant position. Let me get back to Mount. And look at that. Floats to the back beautifully. Doesn't exhaust a lot of energy. He chooses his spots very well. That's some high-level grappling.
And on the reverse side of that, Porter being on bottom, that's an exhausting spot to be, right? You're using tons of energy, trying to work back up, and especially having such a big guy on top of you, it's definitely not easy and drains that gas tank.
Absolutely, and it's terrible when you're having to use muscle and power to try to get out of positions, because so far, he's really had no answer for the top control of Kukowski. So anytime he's moving, he's doing those big, and those are the ones that take it out of him. Those the runts, when it's not too much technique and more you just trying to survive.
And this has really been the story of the fight so far. Matt Kukowski just floating on top, transitioning positions.
I would like to see Kukowski open up a little bit more because he finds himself on top so easily. He's really got nothing to lose, and he can really let it fly from top Mount.
Hector trying to go for a straight ankle lock here. As Kukowski has his feet crossed.
Those are tough to get. Definitely you get the white belt with it.
Yeah.
But at a higher level, you just refuse to tap. To a little bit of ankle pain.
Especially here in MMA fights where the adrenaline's pumping a little more.
You're
willing to let a little more pain go through.
You might not even feel it.
Yeah.
And look at that. Floats to on top. And I'd like to see him open up here. 30 seconds left. And Porter making the right decision to give his back to not take punishment from top Mount. But if I'm Kukowski, I don't want to oblige to what you want to do. You want to give it back, I'm forcing you to go back to Mount, and I'm trying to hurt you from there.
Porter looking to give up his back here again. Just 15 seconds left in the round.
Kukowski trying to suck that wrist in, flatten Porter back out.
That'll bring us to the end of round number 2. Another dominant round here from Matt Kukowski. Like you said, Jeff, it'd be nice to see him open up just a little bit more with the strikes and try to find a finish because he's been totally dominant on top the entire fight.
Yeah, why not? There's not much to lose, right? And a normal situation where someone's been getting up a lot underneath you, maybe it's not the best time to really posture up and land big shots, but as we see here on the replay, it's been dominant when he's on top. He's able to float these positions, so instead of letting Porter give it his back, why not cross-face, bring it back to Mount, and then land some big shots. And if you feel like you're going to lose position, then you settle your weight back down and rinse and repeat until you get the finish. Although he's dominating, I will say that if the goal is to get to the big show, that's what they want. They want finishes. So if you start to learn that early as an 0-0 pro that, hey, I want damage here, I want big shots, I want to try to finish my opponent, the scouting matchmakers for the UFC and these big shows, that's what they want. They want finishes. They're not impressed with dominating unanimous decisions.
to head into round number 3. Again, our first pro bout of the night.
Great toughness so far shown by Porter. I mean, a lot of people would have wilted underneath the top control and power of Kukowski.
Absolutely, for being on bottom as much as he was, still moving pretty well here to start out the 3rd round.
Taking a look again at these strike stats brought to you by Spectation Sports. 54-7 for Kukowski with the 54. Successful with 2 for 2 on takedowns. Here looking to make it 3 as he grabs the body lock.
Kukowski looked for a big takedown there. Porter able to avoid it and stay on his feet.
Beautiful reap again. The same takedown we saw in round 1. We call that a DC1 in our gym, Matt. You simply go around the leg, you reap towards the calf of your opponent, towards your butt, and sometimes it results in a very easy takedown. Those are the ones you want. You want the effortless ones. Coach of mine used to say, what takedown do you guys want? And the answer is the easy one.
Yeah, and the crowd not impressed with another takedown here, looking for more action.
They got spoiled with the earlier fights where everyone's getting knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to boo the skill here of Kukowski to be able to secure these takedowns. Porter working back to his feet here, though.
Yeah, this is something we haven't really seen from him in the last 2 rounds, his ability to get up. He's taking some knees here.
Yeah, he's got to know that here in round number 3, he's got to find a finish. That's probably not going to happen on his back.
And beautiful finish there. As his head's down low from taking those knees, he grabs the leg and almost goes for this cradle-like position to flip him back over and end up with another takedown. This is more than what we were seeing from Porter, though. Trying to get up, using the fence, scooting his back towards the fence. As Kukowski tries to jump on his back, has 1 hook in. Oh, mistake there done by Porter, allowing him to get that 2nd hook in. I like this from Porter, though. Get high head. Oh, but he's going to end up on his back here. He got high head temporarily. I think Kukowski did, and that's why he's on top right now.
Short elbows here from Kukowski and Mount. They're really discontent in the position right now, it seems like. Looking for an arm triangle again.
I don't know why, but I'm not a big fan of looking for the same submission 50 times throughout the fight. Like I mentioned earlier, if you couldn't get it the first 5 times, and I'm not saying he can't finish this, but I'd rather try to hurt you first. I want to bloody you up.
Yeah, especially you see, you know he's defended it a couple times. You know he kind of is aware of it coming. He can put himself in a little bit better position to start to escape there, but the arm triangle being one of the more low-risk submissions here, no matter what he's going to end up in mount either way or on top. He's willing to throw it up there.
Right. But what's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, looking for a different result. And I just feel like, for me, having the awareness of like, okay, it hasn't worked, let me just elbow you instead. And then when he's all bloodied up and the nose is facing the other way, maybe go for it then, if it's there. But you got to make the person want to quit a little bit. And if you are rearranging someone's eyebrows and there's an Xbox logo on their forehead, you're very much more open to tapping to a submission.
And really, we saw a lot more strikes in the first round from on top. It seems like in these latter rounds that Kukowski's just been content to control the position. Here we are back on the arm triangle.
And I'm nitpicking. Of course, he could be able to finish this, but I'm only nitpicking because he's been so dominant. So, again, this is what the matchmakers are looking for. They don't care how dominant your unanimous decision was. They want to see finishes. Here he's fishing for the arm triangle. Do we have submission attempts? That can't be accurate. I'm going to go for the 100th time. Don't quote me on that. But in order to hit someone hard from on top, you do need posture. So this is the posture he needs right now. I like the frames he's using, but he does need to let it fly a little bit. I mean, like, what is there to lose?
Yeah, 20 seconds left in the fight. Fight that has been controlled here by Kukowski. Porter trying to scramble back up here. But gets his pad taken once more.
Good break, gentlemen.
That'll do it. That'll bring us to the end of round number 3. Our first pro bout of the evening here at FAC 33. A dominant performance there by Matt Kukowski.
Expect to see some. I didn't see a 10 of Porter